So this is going to be a first impressions video on the SIG P365 X Macro. This is not a review. I've only shot a couple hundred rounds through this pistol. So if you're looking for a long-term review or something like that, check back later on the channel because I will be making one. But as of now, just giving my first impressions of the pistol and how it is out of the box. Now I do have some gripes with the pistol, some things I might either change about it or things I just kind of have to live with, but there are also things I do like about it. So the first thing I'm not a fan of are the sights. Now sights are very easily changeable, but these are still the sights that do come on the gun. It is a 3-dot style system with a high-vis tritium front and 2 tritium vials in the rear. Not terrible, but I would much prefer a blacked out rear fiber optic front, or at least blacked out rear high-vis front, because the tritium vials in the rear are just distracting. If you need tritium vials in your rear sight to find your sights, you really need to work on your presentation. Now, I can't always just put an optic on here, and I will, probably the new EPS carry from HoloSun when I can track one of those down, but it would still be nice for the OEM sights out of the box to be a little bit nicer. My other issue with the pistol is going to be this loaded chamber indicator right here on the top of the barrel. While I get why it's there, so you can see when you have a loaded chamber, the extractor pushes out when you have a loaded round anyways, so I don't really need a second one. All this is gonna do is once I put an optic on here, it's gonna be a nice port to shoot dirt and debris onto the face of my optic. Now the last thing I didn't like about the pistol is that there's no texturing right here on the pistol. It's very bare, right where you're putting your thumb, and you have a nice thumbs forward grip. Now what I've done already as soon as I got home is I put some grip tape right here, some skate tape, and now this grips much, much better. But I wish SIG would have taken some of the texturing that's here on the grip, and I'll get to that texturing in a minute, and they would have put it right up here so you can just get a little bit of a better grip out of the box. But putting a little bit of skate tape or getting some stippling done isn't the end of the world, but it would have been nicer if I had something here. So one thing that did surprise me about the pistol was the grip. Feeling it, originally it felt kind of, smooth, kind of like a very, very fine sandpaper. Like you see on most SIG grips where it just isn't a great grip. However, when actually gripping this pistol, it reminds me very much of the Hellcat, where it has a very aggressive grip when you're gripping the pistol, but when you're not gripping the pistol and it's up against your skin and you're carrying it, it's not aggressive at all. So normally I wouldn't be stippling a gun like this. However, SIG didn't extend the grip up to here, the grip stippling, the texturing that they have here. So it's all smooth right here, and when you're adding in that support hand right here, and you have that nice big drumstick meaty part of your hand going there to help control recoil, you got nothing really to go on, so it doesn't be a little slippery there. So I might end up adding some stippling or some grip tape there as well to enhance the grip and texture. But overall, good on you SIG for having an actual nice grip on one of your pistols instead of that really smooth and kind of terrible grip I've seen on some of your earlier models. So continuing on with the grip of the Macro, I really like the Backstrap System. So this comes with 3 backstraps out of the box. You have a small, medium, and large. I currently have the large on here. I really like this feature. Most pistols in this category, the Micro 9s, tend not to come with anything but a slim backstrap or just whatever's included. Like the Hellcat, it's a very slim backstrap. The Glock 48 43X has a little bit of a beefier backstrap, and some other pistols are somewhere in between, but I like a beefier backstrap. And when I'm shooting things like the Hellcat and those smaller pistols, I don't tend to have enough room for my support hand, but with the big backstrap on this Macro, I can actually fit my full support hand in here, no problem, and I have plenty of space to fill in with my support hand and form a good two-handed grip. Now, of course, we can't talk about this pistol without talking about the magazine. This is a 17-round magazine in a otherwise rather small gun, right? Comparing this to things like the Glock 48 or this Hellcat here, right? You put the two guns together, and the Macro sticks out just a little bit, but not as much as you'd expect 2 rounds to stick out, and it's barely any bigger than this Hellcat. However, I'm getting 2 more rounds, which is fantastic. I really like it, and the grip is the perfect length for me. It stops right at my pinkies, so I have a full grip on the pistol. I don't have to worry about fighting for grip space, but I'm also getting a full duty size magazine when it comes to capacity. I'm getting 17 rounds, which is insane, and that's out of the box. I'm not having to modify my magazines. I'm not having to buy an aftermarket magazine. No, out of the box, I'm getting 17 rounds, and that is fantastic. So obviously the next thing to talk about with this gun is the compensator, the porting, however you'd like to refer to it. On the Spectre Comp 365 we saw previously, we did see this same exact porting system, and there's plenty of videos out there comparing the Spectre comp to the standard P365 XL, showing that the comp actually is effective. And I will say, shooting this is effective. I definitely noticed that this felt like I was shooting a bigger and weightier gun than this little lightweight carry pistol. And compared to the closest gun I have, the Hellcat, which has about the same length grip and the same length barrel, the Hellcat was much snappier, much harder to control than the Macro. The Macro, like I said, felt like a bigger gun, felt like a heavier gun, yet is still light and concealable. So next, let's talk about the trigger on the Macro. Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of SIG triggers. I think they're kind of not terrible, just not great, but I actually really like it. You have a little bit of take up here to a wall, a little bit of mush, and a brake. Not a whole lot of over travel, and a nice forceful reset. So that is really nice there. And then once again, that brake, maybe 4.5, 5 pounds, nothing crazy. Definitely better feeling than most of the guns in this Micro 9 concealed carry category. Now, another thing I really like about this pistol is the light rail. This has a standard Picatinny rail. It is a little bit short, so some options may not fit, but as you can see here, I have a standard TLR7A, not the TLR7 sub, and it fits on no problem. So that's really nice. I don't have to go out and buy, super specific lights that I'll only be able to use in that one gun, like when it comes to the Glock 48 MOS, or the Hellcat, or the 365 XL. No, this takes a light that I can put on any other pistol, so if I end up buying a different pistol one day, I can put that light on there. In fact, I already had this on my Glock 19, so I just took that off my Glock 19 and put it right on here. So I really like the fact it takes a full-size light, just makes it easier to find holsters, makes it easier to find lights for it. Good on you, SIG, for making things easier for your consumer. So overall, I like the Macro. I recommend it. Now, I haven't had it long-term, and this is not a long-term review where I've really tested it. However, at the end of the day, it's still a 365, and while it had some hiccups in the beginning, the 365 platform of pistols has proven to be reliable and dependable for a concealed carry weapon, and I wouldn't have any problem trusting this pistol. If you want to wait, I will be doing a long-term review coming maybe in the next month or so, with several thousand rounds through it, really testing out the reliability and dependability of this pistol and the magazines, because while 17 rounds is impressive, that also could be a source of reliability problems. It is OEM, we're not buying an aftermarket magazine to get this capacity, but we are cramming a lot of rounds in a tiny package. So that could be a way that a failure is caused on this pistol, but honestly, I don't think so. I think SIG knows what they're doing when it comes to magazines, and the earlier issues of the 365 were internal to the action, not with the magazines, so I don't think it's gonna be an issue, but we'll see when I make that long-term review. If this video is helpful to you, or you simply enjoyed watching it, please leave a like down below, and consider subscribing. Like I said, I will be doing a long-term review of this pistol later on, where I will be seeing how does it hold up after several thousand rounds, not after just a couple mags. So we'll really be seeing, is this a reliable pistol long term? I think it's going to be, but only time will tell.